Welcome back, everybody. Hot Mic live on location here in Sioux Falls on Missouri Valley Football Conference Media Day, the official start of the 2025 college football season. How about a leadoff hitter we got? North Dakota State head football coach Tim Polasek joins us. I was just joking off air. Were you a leadoff hitter in your baseball days? Where were you in the lineup?
It depended on how hot Goose was, because Nick would either bat fifth. There were some times when we were swinging good. We were batting the 3-hole, but most of the time I think. The better the team, I kind of batted in the back end of it and focused on pitching. And so the Brewers are hot. That's all I know.
Believe me, I know. Bunnell's a huge Brewer fan, so they already surpassed the Mets on what's going on. All right, so this is our official first interview of 2025. Give me a sense of this. I mean, you and I have talked about trying to get the league some more attention, get on the spotlight. When you heard they were going to do an in-person media day, what were your thoughts about it? Well,
I go back to like the middle of May. And I started having some conversations while we were out recruiting. Number one, Coach Sprack, Eric Schmidt was kind enough to get on the call. A few other guys, and we were kind of up in the air on, okay, is this something that we really want to do?
Yeah.
A week or so ahead of fall camp. And as time went on, and I talked to our leadership, this is something that's been at the forefront, and we needed to embrace and have open mind about it. All I can say is Jeff and his staff last night, dinner was phenomenal. So unbelievable meal and camaraderie. And it's good, especially with the way where we're at in college football and some of the nuance.
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of trading each other's game plans, but just to know what issues are there, what ideas are out there. And so it's off to a great start. I'm real eager to see how today goes.
Yeah.
How is it for our players, and then how can we make it better moving into next year?
All right, so fall camp starts officially a week from Wednesday. What for you now? This is the countdown. You've had a chance to see guys doing summer workouts. What's the next 7-8 days look like before you get going?
Well, we adjusted our summer schedule a little bit again. So we've been back in the office since Wednesday. And the primary purpose there was to get with our players, to get around them, to evaluate our young guys, but then maybe to have, a couple short meetings, do some things on the field, obviously within the rules, obviously no 11-on-11 stuff. But it's good to be around our kids and to be back in Fargo. And we had a great event up in Velva. I'm so grateful and thankful to those people. Holly was as good as I've seen it.
It was packed out there for golf.
It was. Yeah. Derek Lang and the crew, continue. We're on an uptick with all of our events. You know how much I like doing that stuff. And then, again, it's just an opportunity for Matt and Todd and Derek and Cleen. It's a real chance for us to get to build our relationship. And I'm starting to feel a real sense of friendship there. So then this week we got Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday we conclude with a really good cookout, and then our players will have off for about 4 days, and so will the staff. And so that's going to provide an opportunity for us to go in and get educated at some NFL OTAs.
Okay.
If coaches want to do that. That's why I did it. Because when we were at Iowa, we had that opportunity to get into some camps. And so I really like our schedule so far, and I can't wait to get the next Monday and get up and running.
The big picture item is, I know it's on the agenda because you and I have talked about it, is having summer OTAs become a thing, that you're with the team, that seems like the ball's rolling towards that could change maybe by next year, that you're having practices in the summertime.
Yeah, well, they'll give you the flexibility to make a decision. Yeah. What do you want to do with 20 workouts, basically? Yep. Is it 10 in spring, 10 in June? If we're healthy and our numbers are strong, we'll stay relatively similar. But we will take advantage for the freshmen and incoming kids, and maybe even the redshirt freshmen in June, maybe a 12-period, 18-period non-contact practice to teach concepts in the base fundamentals. I'm excited about the flexibility that the NCAA is looking at with that. I think that could provide some real opportunity, not only from a standpoint of moving your club forward, but again, showing and showcasing things in recruiting in June for high school student athletes.
I want to get on the field here in a second, but it seems like everything has been off the field. So I haven't had a chance to talk to you since the school decided to opt into the House settlement. What I'm interested now is the discussions you had with the football team about, okay, we're going to designate you. How did those go about, and were the players receptive on, hey, we're actually guaranteeing you a spot on the roster by doing this?
Yeah. Well, as number one, I was able to make some calls. I do want to say thank you to Chris Kleiman for being available. The Iowa operations staff, their general manager, had some good conversations with Jimmy Rogers, just on the approach of all this stuff. The one thing that I'm really excited about is that we kind of said, hey, let's see how college football unfolds. And we didn't make an early decision to opt in, and that allowed us to be the full deck.
Yep.
Okay, so we brought in about 35 guys to simply educate them on what it would mean to be a DSA, and then we had the ability, or we had to designate at least 21. So that's our total number, guys in the program, walk-ons, school start walk-ons, guys that are injured. And I thought Grant Olson was really good in providing some information, a PowerPoint to those guys, and then I kind of came in with the hammer.
You're the closer.
This is what it is. Yeah. And I said, I'm going to be in the weight room, and I'm going to be out here in the indoor for the next hour and a half. You guys come up to me and let me know if you want to be are you all in? In the response of guys like, Coach, I just want you to know I want a spot. They didn't really have an idea, like, were we cutting guys?
Right.
And so to ensure those guys that they still could be part of revenue share and they could still get put on scholarship and get the information to them. But honestly, what an opportunity in the middle of summer to see where some guys stood. Not only, hey, I want to do this, but, Coach, like, I don't really know how the fall is going to go. Like, how's this going to shake out? And then maybe not designate a couple guys. And so we feel really good about carrying. I want to be, I told Matt, I'm going to swing for the fences. We want to be 120, 121 plus for 3 or 4 years.
For as long as possible.
For as long as possible.
Wow. Obviously, you're going to get, I think, probably every question from everybody about your quarterback. Yeah. You had a chance to see Cole Payton up close. Obviously, last season got hurt during the middle part of last year. The big question, I know I've asked him, he's heard it, is can he throw the football? Everybody has seen his athleticism, Tim. You being a former quarterback yourself, give us your synopsis of what Cole Payton is as a thrower.
Oh, well, I mean, he's 64% for his career right now. Good. This summer it was unfortunate. I had to have a little bit of shoulder surgery. And so I wasn't able to do the things that that take me away from the office and an off time. So I went back and reevaluated all of our drop back, the play action, really thoroughly for the quarterback's sake. And I just kind of wanted to get another glimpse at it. Yeah. And I can tell you this, we moved forward as a football team. Now, all the discussion all year long, it just has to come back to who are the guys that are going to make the play on 3rd and 8, 6-man pressure, empty, like Cam and Raj did in the national title.
Yep.
And so the one thing I was encouraged about going back and looking at it is Cole's operating 80% of who we want to be and what we can do and what we did in the past really well. It's kind of figuring out where's his niche versus Cam that might be a little bit different, and let's not be stubborn as coaches. I don't care if we like or Dan Larson likes a concept. Can the quarterback freaking play it, and does he like it? And let's call those plays. And so that's what it'll still be all about here moving forward in fall camp. And we cannot talk about the quarterback position without talking about Nathan. Nathan is whatever. If there's any separation, Nathan is on the heels and keeping that position very competitive. I do like where we're at as a whole for the position. It's going to shake out pretty quick.
I have to also, I'm obligated to ask you, this is my first one on offensive line, because you have 3 new guys.
I think it's fair this year.
You're replacing 2 guys that are in the NFL, one's in the CFL. How is that? What did you see after evaluating spring ball to say, okay, I think we have our 5, or is that something you still want to have played out here in fall camp?
Dan Larson's done a great job in the past. Chewy's doing a good job. Dylan Chimura. The bottom line is these knuckleheads, right, like a young group, they all took turns messing some things up. Therefore, I think the defensive front was a little bit ahead of us. If these guys can just get into a room and say, hey, we're going 5 for 5. I'm playing for my brother, and I'm not letting them down. And we're not most certainly putting the ball at jeopardy and getting the quarterback hit, like lickety-split. So there was a lot of growth, but there was a lot of onesies, 4 for 5, 4 guys doing the job, and then a 5th breaking down. And they kind of all seemed to take their turns.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that position. I'm so excited for what I'll call the preseason with you guys this year. We're going to have not preseason, meaning these games don't matter. We got to win them all.
Yep.
But we're going to push our football team, and especially the offensive line, the young offensive line, we're going to push them in the weight, strength, and conditioning area all the way through our bye week. And so the approach has got to be about improvement.
Yeah. I'm intrigued. Bo Johnson is a huge human being there. And obviously, we saw it last year. Griffin Empey developed and started 14 out of 16 games last season. I know you really like what Josh Mangan can do, and he got healthy at the end of spring. But the guys have the size. The size is certainly there. It's just now about putting it all. And Lewinsky played a little bit last year. I know you like Nate Schleckloff. Those are guys that all now have a chance to really earn a spot out there.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be like ginormous like we've been before. Some years we've been 6'5" across the board.
Yeah.
But the other guy, Devin Lockerby's had a really, really good summer, and he had a pretty good spring. And so really, if you look at it, Fraley and Empey It's just that tackle. We'll be starting 2 new tackles for the first time in a long time that are both making their first start. And then however that right guard position shakes out will be good.
I asked this, I'll ask the football guy. Now with a left-handed quarterback, does the right tackle become more important as the blind side, or is that not a big deal?
Well, I answered that question when Tristan Wirfs was coming out, right side versus left side. Whether you get hit in the face or in the back, it's one and the same, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It just used to be the right side for the defense. That DN used to be the guy that they would highlight.
Okay.
And so you wanted your left tackle to be the best player. Not necessarily.
Okay. We're going to have your schedule we're going to put up on screen here. You're playing your first 2 on the road. What do you make of that? I remember when you came back as offensive coordinator, first 2 games of 2014 were at Iowa State, at Weber State. You like that, how that sets up?
I absolutely love it. I do. If you were to say, hey, give me one thing to describe NDSU football, or you're always fighting complacency. And, how do you stay hungry and humble? What's better than going on the road 2 times in some heat, to grab their attention, our players, right? Rather than saying, okay, we're at home and it's so-and-so. It's going to, you eliminate that advantage, and now we got to go do it. I like that, and I like that for a young team that's going to get better and better every week. And that's where I'm asking Bison Nation to be ready to help us on that home opener. And from what I'm hearing, Nashville's going to be a blast. I wish we'd go out there 2 days early. We got a business to take care of, but it sounds like it's going to be fun.
Well, it sounds like fans are going to stay from Charleston and drive to Nashville that are going to make a twofer out of it to start the season.
I would be very shocked if there's not 8,000 or better in Nashville.
That'd be fantastic.
Let's go, Bison Nation.
It could be a potential of 2 trips to Nashville if things work out the way you want. Defensively, I really think that's going to be maybe the strength, at least to start the season, knowing what you have back there, especially on the back end, something you and I talked about last fall camp of the question marks at corner and safety. That's not the case, at least in my opinion, heading into 2025.
It just reminds me of so many other years. Your strength is over here. The next year,
it moves. Right.
When you're 88% on your roster, North Dakota State recruited kids versus 12 transfers, and I love our transfers. I mean, I think they're going to be, maybe more than any other year, they're going to be more impactful than ever. But I think we're going to cover better, and I think we've got some real leadership, some unbelievable growth in the last 12 months. When you think of like a Darius Givens, a Crumby, those guys have grown so much.
Duffy's Ryan leadership. Jones, what he played at the end of last season was amazing how he played.
The more I get to know Alexander,
he
is consistent in his approach, and I think he's going to have a really good season. And then I like the JMU kid, Antoine that we've added. Booth has really moved around really well. Marion Moore is doing a good job. There's some young guys that's exciting. Talon Edey and Will Stile. And so I think at least there's some competition there, and now there's some experience that you can lean on that group.
Last thing before I let you go here, and I appreciate you doing this, just to overview of fall, obviously staying healthy. What else do you want to see from the 30 days of fall camp before you open up with the Citadel?
You know what? I'm glad you kind of said that. Like, staying healthy in today's game is so critical. I hit a patch probably around July 20th. I completed Bill Belichick's book, and I wrote down something new, different. You know what? We're going to compete and push these guys. I want to see the fur fly. And it's imperative every day that we get better and that we provide a lot of opportunity for our true freshmen, redshirt freshmen, and our sophomores to scrimmage a little bit. So, we got 12 guys or so that are seniors, and of those 12, 5 or 6 really need to get protected. But outside of that, I think we've got to be physical, and we've got to have a real competitive edge and spirit about us. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of having to say whoa to these guys.
Break some things up during camp?
I think we're gonna go. We're gonna get on edge earlier this year, and we're gonna rock and roll.
You're a pick first. Does that mean anything to you in the preseason poll?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But it means something from this standpoint only. Like, the respect level is still there. We have an unbelievable staff in this league with head coaches. Even though there's some nuance, I've been really impressed with everybody. It's just a little bit more. There's some more unknowns. Someone asked me, what does the Citadel look like? I've been more focused on our football team again than watching a group of guys that may have a lot of turnover or unturnover.
And you did that last year with Colorado. I remember I talked to you about that, and you started Colorado when fall camp started. I mean, you looked a little bit at Shedeur and obviously Travis Hunter, but just it's not coach speak that you did that last year.
I think this day and age, the opponent film, the opponent study in the first 2 or 3 games is not quite as critical. I know this for certain. It's more about our guys, the principles and the concepts and the effort level and the execution that we have. You know, you're exactly right. Last year I spent most of my time studying Shedeur and the kind of player he was, and then obviously Travis Hunter, but we had no idea of really what they were going to do schematically and who was going to be out there around those guys. And so that was a big benefit for us to dig in and say, hey, this is about us, about the Bison getting better.
All right, now I really have to go. 2 guys that are going to break out. You gave me Bryce Lance last year, which was, you kept saying that's a no-brainer. You got 2 guys that could really be good for you this year.
I keep gravitating towards 2 guys, but they kind of, because you guys do such a good job covering us. You know, you're not going to be shocked if Jackson Williams has a good season.
No. And
you're not going to be shocked if Donovan Woolen has a good season. So let's pick 2 others. Jackson Dutenheffer's a known commodity.
Yep.
But I think I'd be shocked if him and Keenan Wilson just are playing like we've always played. Kelton McCaslin most certainly has a chance.
Yep.
And then, like, you know, one of these tight ends is going to make a few more plays that haven't.
Okay.
That's a good question. I would say Jackson Williams and Donovan Woolen.
Those are pretty good players there. It's great to see you. This is about the first about 1,000 we're going to do this year.
Yeah.
Have fun today, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Tim Polasek, NDSU head football coach, joining us off the hop to start Missouri Valley Conference Media Day. We'll break. We got Bryce Lance coming up. We come back live to Sioux Falls. Back here after this.